Let's give another hand for the great lion dancers. Good afternoon. I am Mark Kelly. I'm the Commissioner for Cultural Affairs and Special Events for the City of Chicago. And on behalf of Mayor Rahm Emanuel, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the People's Palace as we celebrate this kickoff celebration for the Chinese New Year. Let's give it up for this great day. How fitting that this event is in Chicago's great cultural center. Over there on that wall, there's actually 10 different languages inscribed on our walls. And over there on that south wall, that southeast wall in Mandarin, there's a saying from Confucius in which a rough translation is, you know that you love to learn when every day you seek more knowledge. And so here we are in this cultural palace, and above us is the zodiac signs. So if you look right at the center there is the zodiac sign as we come together today in the Chinese lunar year. This is the year of the pig. And I've been told the year of the pig is the luckiest of years. So here I am wearing my red, lucky red, bringing me happiness and good fortune and prosperity. And now here we are in the year of the pig. And we know that this is going to be a year of good fortune and happiness and no more polar vortexes, right? So let's give it up for the year of the pig. So the Chinese New Year Festival, it's the largest and most important cultural festival in the world. Over 1/6 of the world's peoples celebrate the Chinese New Year. And it's not just in China and in Asia. It's now in New York, it's in Sydney, it's in Vancouver, and it's in London. And I am so proud as the Cultural Affairs Commissioner that the Chinese New Year has now become centered as one of the great festival highlights of our city. We celebrate Chinese culture, we celebrate Chicago culture, we bring them together, and this kickoff celebration captures this moment. So in closing, and my Chinese friends gave me a quick tutorial lesson before this so that I could say Happy New Year in Chinese. I'm sure I'm gonna butcher it, but I gotta go for it, right? As we all celebrate this year. So, Qing Nian Kuai La. It's my best, I tried. Happy New Year, happy Chinese New Year. May good fortune come to all of us in the year of the pig. And with that, let me introduce Lisa Conkey, who is the leader of our Global Affairs Division of the City of Chicago. Lisa, thank you.
Happy New Year. Hello, everybody. I bring a message from Mayor Emanuel. We're thrilled to be here as usual. He sends his regrets, but we do have a message for him. I'll read it here. Dear friends, as mayor and on behalf of the City of Chicago, I welcome all those gathered for Chicago's Lunar New Year kickoff celebration. The Year of the Pig represents a year full of prosperity, luck, and joy, and we look forward to embodying these elements in our endeavors and relationships in the coming year. In 2019, Chicago will celebrate the 34th anniversary of our two sister city relationships with Shanghai and Shenyang. As we look to the new year, we look forward to further enhancing our close relationship with China and build upon our continued successes. This past summer, I had the opportunity to visit Beijing with a delegation of 50 Chicago leaders, where we marked the 5th anniversary of the Gateway Cities Agreement, which is a first of its kind economic agreement linking Chicago to 8 cities in China. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Choose Chicago, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, the Chinese Fine Arts Society, and the Chinese Consulate for their work and collaboration to host and make this event such a success. I would also like to thank Acting Consul General Liu Jun for his tireless efforts to promote Chicago's relationship with China. I offer my best wishes to you and all those gathered for a joyful and prosperous and healthy year of the pig. Sincerely, Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Thank you. And with that, I'll introduce our Acting Consul General, Liu Jun.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. 大家过年好. So last night was the Chinese New Year's Eve. We are supposed to get together at home, having enjoyed the food. But the first day of the New Year, we are supposed to come out to visit friends and families. So we were extend our best New Year's wish to everybody. So we are supposed to do like this. 新年好. Yes, 新年好. Thank you, thank you. Well, it's amazing that this city of Chicago, this is going to be a sixth citywide Chinese New Year celebration. So what an amazing achievement. The Chinese community here in town, in Chicago, is very vibrant, very active. We have the ever expanding Chinatown. And I believe the Chinese community is also very vibrant part of the cultural diversity in this city. So we want to thank the mayor's office, the Department of the Cultural Affairs and Special Events, to Chicago, the Fine Arts Society, and many other sponsors, for their continuous dedicated effort in promoting the citywide celebration. So I propose we should give a big round of applause for the city, for all those partners. Thank you. And here, I would like to, today, it can be a better day to kick off the citywide celebration. And there are many events in the city. So a few days ago, I suppose you may already attended some event in the Art Institute and somewhere else. But in the upcoming days, we will have many very exciting events. So let me give you a few highlights of our event. Tomorrow, at the United Center, we will have you are going to get ready for a lovely surprise. So tomorrow, the Chicago Bulls will face the New Orleans Pelicans. Very interesting game. But you are going to be impressed by what you see at the United Center. And then at midterm break, there'll be fabulous Chinese culture performance. So if you don't buy a ticket, please try to get a ticket, because it's going to be very exciting. And also, on the February 10th, this weekend, there will be another Chinese New Year concert at the CSO, Chicago Symphony Orchestra Center. And for this New Year's concert, we will have two visiting Chinese top-level groups. One is Beijing Opera, National Beijing Opera Company. So may I introduce you the head of this company, please? So this gentleman is head of the National Beijing Opera Company. And the National Beijing Company, together with the Hubei Chime Bell Orchestra, they will combine to have a very fabulous Chinese New Year's concert. So on the February 10th, if you don't have the ticket, please go to online. You can get a discounted price. So I would like here to promote this event. Thank you very much. Thank you. And also on 17th of this month, right here, there will be another film festival right here. Film festival. So, and also at Navy Pier, there will be another, lantern festival at the Navy Pier. That's a traditional annual event. So you can see for the citywide Chinese New Year celebration, there are so many exciting things you can see and you can experience. Where China and the US we are two great nations, and we are two great people. And although we have very vibrant, very robust Chinese community here to promote Chinese culture, but that's not enough. We need more cultural exchanges. So again, I would like to thank you for your interest to get to know Chinese culture. Thank you for your interest and enthusiasm trying to promote mutual understanding. So I'm sure everybody will have a good time here today. And I wish, last but not least, I wish everybody will have a very healthy, prosperous, successful New Year of Pigs. Thank you very much. Next, may I introduce Mr. David Wittek, the president of the CHU Chicago, to say a few words, please.
Happy New Year, everyone. Xingying Kuai La. Xingying Kuai La. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, kids. You know, obviously, the Office of Tourism, we're thrilled with this day. It's a great day of celebrating the new year and this culture. And the Chinese community is just so important to Chicago. It's our fastest growing international audience. We welcomed over 250,000 Chinese visitors to Chicago last year. Things like this help create that opportunity. Obviously, we have so much to be proud of in our own community. I want to just, again, Commissioner Kelly, thank you for inviting us into your house. Thank you for your great partnership. Obviously, the mayor's office and the city understands the importance of cultural exchange. Deputy Acting Consul General, thank you for all you do for this community. You've been a great friend of tourism, a great friend of Chicago. To the entire staff at your Consulate General, thank you for being such a great champion of Chicago. We are lucky to have friends like you. And in a moment, Julie, I'll have you come up and end things off. A quick message for the adults in the room. Again, if you get a chance, join us Sunday. Tickets are still available. You'll see a bit of this performance today, but Sunday at 3 o'clock at the Chicago Symphony Theater, Symphony Hall, you'll see an amazing performance. And speaking of the Chicago Symphony, they have just returned. They were performing 3 different performances over in China, in Beijing, and in Shanghai, and in Guangzhou, sharing our culture with that important partnership. As the Consul General said, and a message for the young people, kids, to really understand another country, to really understand another culture, you have to learn about them. And there's no better way than learning through the sharing of culture, sharing of music, sharing of history. You know, I love when they were performing, all the kids had their iPhones and their iPads and their smart devices. You have the world at your fingertips, kids. But there is an amazing world out there, and it includes China. And the more you learn about China, the more you learn about that rich tradition, the more we celebrate each other, the more we will respect and admire and honor each other. So the future is in your hands to continue a great relationship between this country and China, 2 of the most important countries in the world, to cooperate, to get along, and to respect. So you're in for an amazing performance. I want to thank, again, the leaders who have helped create this event the entire week of celebration. I do want to take a moment to the media and say thank you. And again, that is, of course, Shishia. Thank you, media, for sharing a little bit of Chicago to your audience around the world. No better way to help invite the world to Chicago than to see through your eyes and lens us celebrating, respecting, and wishing everyone happiness and prosperity. I'll close by not revealing my age, but I was born in the year of the pig. And every day my wife calls me a pig. And tonight when I go home, I'm going to tell her, yes, thank you, Shishia, for calling me a pig. But for those of you who are from the year of the pig, I wish you much prosperity. For the rest of you, Happy New Year. And in a moment, you're in for an amazing performance of a culture that means so much to how we respect, learn, and share with one another. And with that, speaking of great partners, Julie Ma, please come forward. She's the head and the inspiration behind the Chinese Fine Arts Society, her and her mother who founded this amazing partnership. Julie, welcome, and Shishia for all that you do. Julie Ma, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy New Year. We've had some amazing speeches from all of our wonderful partners that have helped us to bring this event today, as well as a whole 2-week calendar of amazing Chinese New Year events that you can read about both at the CHU Chicago site as well as ours, the Chinese Fine Arts Society. I think that we've had quite a lot of very patient children, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the Chinese Fine Arts Society later in the performances. But right now, I would really love to welcome the China National Peking Opera Company, who just got here from China, and they're going to be performing for us twice today, beginning with this first piece called At the Crossroads. Let's give another round of applause to the China National Peking Opera Company. As was mentioned earlier, they're going to be performing a full performance at the Chicago Symphony Center on February 10th at 3 o'clock. Today we're just giving you a sneak peek of two of the performances. The one that you just saw was a part of an act called At the Crossroads, and it's part of a very famous Chinese novel called Water Margin. And grown-ups, you can go Google that. I'm not going to even try to explain it. But the two of them were just sneaking around outside of an inn, trying to get in. One of them was a senior official, and the other one was a soldier that was tasked to protect him. And if you go see the show in a few weeks, you'll see the whole performance and how it lays out. But you saw just them sneaking around and then getting into their first battle. So, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Julie Ma, and I'm the president of the Chinese Fine Arts Society, and we're actually celebrating our 35th year this year. The Chinese Fine Arts Society was founded by my late mom, Barbara Tiao, and she was a woman who was incredibly passionate about sharing all aspects of China's 5,000-year-old cultural history with everybody around her. And she would have been so thrilled to see where we are today with the CSO, the Art Institute, the Navy Pier. Many of the largest cultural institutions in Chicago have now embraced Chinese New Year as a time to celebrate Chinese culture. And when we started out, the first few Chinese New Year celebrations were just a couple of musicians and maybe a martial artist or a dancer in the corner at Daly Plaza with just people trying to catch the attention of people walking by on their way to work. And now we have a citywide Chinese New Year celebration that starts with this kickoff and goes for 2 weeks. And it's just really an amazing transformation. And we are so grateful to the city and to Mayor Emanuel's vision and to our partners Choose Chicago and DCASE for helping us to make this happen, as well as the Chinese consulate, who are a big part of how we are able to bring these amazing performers from China here to perform every year during this period. So let's give them all a huge round of applause. One of the things we really enjoy about these performances is that we're able to show you these incredible performances from China, but also local artists and artisans that spend all year learning these crafts themselves here. So you just saw some martial arts, and we're also going to now have you see one of our best martial arts instructors here in town, Master Guili Wang, and he's going to give us a Tai Chi demonstration accompanied by a really lovely guzheng player named Menghua Guan. And the guzheng is a 21-stringed Chinese instrument. You can see it here on the stage. And it's kind of like a harp, except horizontal. And you will really enjoy this performance. So let's give it up for Menghua and Guili Wang. Thank you, Master Wang and Menghua. Master Wang teaches at Zhonghua Kung Fu Academy near Chinatown in Bridgewater. And he has wonderful classes for children of all ages, in case anyone's interested. One of the things I really enjoy about watching his performance is that I think oftentimes when we think of Tai Chi, we think of people in the park doing very slow movements. And I think what he demonstrated today is that there's still an incredible amount of strength and power that you can see from these folks when they practice Tai Chi on a regular basis. Our next troupe is one of our leading Chinese dance troupes here in Chicago, the award-winning Flying Fairies dance troupe. Some of these girls have been dancing together since they were 5 years old, and now they're all in high school. They're under the leadership of their master, Miss Jing Qiuyue, who's sitting up here in the front. And we're very grateful to Miss Jing for her patience and her wonderful way of teaching these traditional skills to these lovely young ladies. Welcome, the Flying Fairies. So that was, again, a sneak peek. If you come to our event at Navy Pier, which the Consul General mentioned earlier, which is on February 16th from 1 to 5 in the Grand Ballroom, you'll be able to see the same dance, but with 10 ribbons going, and it's really quite a sight. We hope that you'll all be able to come. Our next performer is really part of just the amazing level of musicians that we have here in Chicago. It's a wonderful partner for the Chinese Fine Arts Society. In fact, he's our artist in residence this year. But in his spare time, he also plays with Yo-Yo Ma and the Silk Road Ensemble, so nothing special. But I'm really grateful to have him here today to perform 2 pieces for us on another Chinese instrument. It's called a pipa, and it's basically a Chinese lute. And I really hope that you'll enjoy his performances. watch the flying fingers of Yang Wei. It's really quite amazing. So as we get ready for our last performance of the China National Peking Opera Company, I wanted to tell you about a few other events that we have planned, in addition to the Bulls game that we have tomorrow and Navy Pier, which we've already talked about. You can have another chance to see Yang Wei for free at the Apple Store next Saturday, where he will be performing in something that I just call Peepaw meets Garage Band. Apple, in its infinite wisdom, has included the peepaw in their lineup of instruments. And so Yang Wei will be playing for a few minutes, and then the Apple Store will be handing out iPads, and you can learn how to play the peepaw on the iPad for a few minutes. And then he's going to take all the music that everybody creates and put it back together in just a jam session. So it should be a lot of fun. It's next Saturday at the Apple Store at 1:30. Immediately following that, we'll have a lantern procession that will go from the modern wing of the Art Institute over to Maggie Daley Park, and then followed by a skating demonstration. Again, a really amazing use of so many things that we have here in Chicago, our wonderful parks, and it's the beautiful skating rink at Maggie Daley. And it'll be lit up with Chinese lanterns, and it's really quite a treat. You'll also get another chance to see our lion dancers. So hope that you'll be able to come to both of those. All of the events you've heard about are on these postcards that are available on several of the tables in the lobby. And it looks like we're ready for our opera troupe. So without further ado, let's welcome the China National Peking Opera. That was the China National Peking Opera Company, and they were performing an excerpt from The Monkey King. And you can read about it. It's a story from Journey from the West, which is another very fine, classic Chinese novel. And that story is, I think you could see that the Monkey King managed to defeat everybody. And beyond that, I won't try and explain the rest of the story here. Wanted to thank you all again so much for joining us today. We hope that you'll grab a postcard on the way out and come to some of our other events. And thank you again to the city, to the Cultural Center, to Mark Kelly here at DCASE, as well as Choose Chicago for their support. And thank you all again for coming. Have a great afternoon.